Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that affects almost everyone at some point in life, dealing with toxic people. Whether it's a manipulative coworker, a friend who constantly drains your energy, or even a family member who just won't respect your boundaries, toxic people can have a serious impact on your mental well-being. But what if I told you that you have the power to stay calm and centered no matter how toxic someone's behavior is? Today we'll be exploring how to handle toxic people through the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman emperors and Stoic philosophers, faced countless challenges and toxic influences during his reign. Yet he remained calm, resilient, and wise. Imagine being the ruler of one of the world's largest empires, facing betrayal, deceit, political sabotage, and personal loss, all while maintaining your inner peace. How did he do it? What can we learn from him to help us navigate our own toxic encounters? Stick around because we're going to break down 13 clever ways to deal with toxic people, inspired by Stoicism and the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. Understanding toxic people, a Stoic perspective. Before diving into specific strategies, it's essential to understand what makes someone toxic from a Stoic perspective. Toxicity isn't just about negativity or being difficult. It's about causing harm intentionally or through persistent disregard for others' well-being. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that human behavior is shaped by nature and experiences. Toxic people are often stuck in patterns of insecurity, jealousy, or anger. They lash out because they haven't developed the inner strength to manage their emotions or insecurities. Instead of seeing them as evil, view them as struggling individuals. This mindset shift helps reduce your emotional reactions and allows you to respond with wisdom rather than frustration. 1. The power of acceptance. One of the core principles of Stoicism is to accept reality as it is. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to expect unkindness from others because human nature is flawed. He said, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." It sounds harsh, but it's actually freeing. By preparing yourself mentally for challenges, you reduce the shock and frustration when they arise. Acceptance doesn't mean allowing harmful behavior. It means acknowledging that some people will act in negative ways and that you can't always change them. You can only control your response. By doing so, you protect your own peace of mind. 2. Mastering your response. One of the most challenging aspects of dealing with toxic people is controlling your own reaction. Stoicism teaches us that we are not disturbed by things, but by our interpretation of things. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that the mind can be trained to remain undisturbed, no matter the external circumstances. Think about that for a moment. Your peace of mind is entirely within your control. When someone criticizes you unfairly or tries to provoke you, practice pausing before reacting. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. Visualize yourself as a rock in a stormy sea, waves crashing around you, but you remain unmoved and solid. Toxic people thrive on eliciting reactions. By denying them that satisfaction, you maintain your strength and refuse to be dragged down to their level. 3. Building emotional immunity. Emotional immunity means developing a mental resilience that prevents others from influencing your emotions. Toxic individuals often look for weaknesses to exploit, insecurities, fears, or unresolved emotions. They know how to push your buttons and trigger emotional responses. One of the best ways to build emotional immunity is through self-awareness and self-acceptance. When you know your own worth and embrace your imperfections, their insults lose their power. Marcus Aurelius said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Practice grounding techniques to keep yourself centered. This might involve deep breathing, visualization, or repeating a calming mantra. Remind yourself that your worth isn't determined by others' opinions. 4th, setting boundaries with confidence. Stoicism encourages us to guard our personal space and peace. Toxic people often push boundaries repeatedly, testing how much they can get away with. Your job is to assertively and calmly set limits on what you will and will not tolerate. Let's say you have a friend who constantly gossips and drags you into their drama. You can politely but firmly say, "I value our friendship, but I'd rather focus on positive topics. Let's talk about something else." When setting boundaries, remember to stay calm and composed. Don't let emotions take over. Be clear and direct. Ambiguity invites more boundary pushing. Follow through and enforce your boundaries consistently. 5. The art of emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Toxic people thrive on emotional reactions, and when you respond calmly and logically, you take away their power. Practice viewing their behavior from a third-person perspective. Instead of saying, "They hurt me," think, "This person is acting out of their own struggles. Their words don't define me." Marcus Aurelius believed that the mind has the ability to create distance between stimulus and response. The moment you allow a gap between what happens and how you feel, you gain control over your reactions. 6. Developing compassion without attachment. One of the most powerful yet difficult lessons in Stoicism is showing compassion without becoming entangled. Toxic people are often in pain themselves. By recognizing this, you can practice compassion without absorbing their negativity. Marcus Aurelius taught that everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Showing empathy doesn't mean allowing mistreatment. It means understanding that hurt people often hurt others. You can still choose to distance yourself while wishing them healing and peace. 7. Reframing challenges as growth. In Stoicism, obstacles are seen as opportunities for growth. Toxic people test your patience, resilience, and self-control. Instead of seeing these encounters as setbacks, view them as training for becoming a stronger, wiser person. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When faced with a toxic encounter, ask yourself, how can I learn from this? What strengths can I develop in handling this? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? This mindset not only makes challenges more bearable, but also transforms adversity into an opportunity to practice virtue and wisdom. 8. Practicing radical acceptance. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is to accept what is outside your control. Toxic people often fall into this category. You can't change their nature, their habits, or how they treat others. You can only change how you perceive and respond to them. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the universe operates according to its own laws, and not everything will go as we wish. He wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them." When you encounter toxic behavior, remind yourself that you're not responsible for fixing others. Let go of the illusion that you can change them. This acceptance brings a profound sense of relief, allowing you to conserve your emotional energy for more meaningful aspects of your life. 9. Silence is golden. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Toxic individuals often provoke to get a reaction, whether it's anger, frustration, or even tears. They thrive on knowing they've gotten under your skin. Marcus Aurelius believed in the power of silence and self-restraint. When someone tries to bait you into conflict, imagine yourself as an unmoving mountain, unaffected by the storm around you. Refusing to engage not only denies them satisfaction, but also reinforces your inner strength. Silence can be a profound statement. It communicates that their words have no power over you. It's not about weakness or avoidance, but rather about maintaining your dignity and not stooping to their level. 10. Adopting the eagle's view. When emotions are running high, it's easy to get swept up in the drama. But Stoicism teaches us to zoom out and gain perspective. Imagine soaring high like an eagle, seeing the bigger picture instead of being stuck in the moment. Ask yourself, will this situation matter a week from now? How significant is this person's opinion in the grand scheme of my life? Am I giving them more attention than they deserve? Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how short and fleeting life is. When you take the long view, you realize how insignificant most conflicts really are. This realization makes it easier to let go and move on. 11th, practice self-care and recharge. Dealing with toxic people can drain your mental and emotional energy. That's why it's crucial to make self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine. Whether it's meditating, exercising, journaling, or immersing yourself in nature, find activities that help you recharge and reconnect with yourself. Marcus Aurelius made time for self-reflection and introspection. Despite the demands of being an emperor, he understood that taking care of your inner world is essential to surviving external chaos. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Prioritize your well-being so that you can face challenges with clarity and strength. 12. Practicing indifference to insults. One of the most liberating practices in Stoicism is developing indifference to insults. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." Toxic people love to get a reaction by insulting or belittling you. But here's the secret. Their words only hurt if you let them. By detaching your sense of worth from their opinions, you render their insults powerless. Imagine someone throwing stones at a massive, immovable statue. The stones bounce off without leaving a mark. You can train your mind to be that statue, solid, grounded, and unaffected. Practice reminding yourself that their words are just noise, and you get to decide whether they penetrate your peace or not. 13. Surround yourself with positive influences. One of the best ways to counteract toxicity is by filling your life with positive, uplifting people. Seek out those who encourage, support, and challenge you to be your best self. The company you keep profoundly influences your mindset and emotional health. Marcus Aurelius knew the importance of aligning himself with wise and virtuous individuals. He surrounded himself with mentors and advisors who embodied the values he aspired to. If you're constantly around toxic people, it's like walking through mud. You'll inevitably get dirty. But when you're with supportive, positive individuals, it feels like basking in sunlight, warm, energizing, and inspiring. Evaluate your relationships honestly. Sometimes letting go of toxic people is the best thing you can do for your own growth. It's not selfish to protect your peace, it's essential. Real-life scenarios and how to apply these strategies. Now let's look at a few real-life situations where these principles come into play. Scenario 1. The critical colleague. Imagine working with someone who constantly belittles your contributions and undermines your confidence. Instead of reacting defensively, practice emotional detachment. Acknowledge their perspective calmly, but don't internalize their negativity. Respond with, "I appreciate your feedback, but I stand by my approach." Let's focus on finding a solution together. This shows that you're willing to collaborate without letting their criticism shake you. Scenario 2. The manipulative friend. A friend consistently guilt trips you into doing things you're uncomfortable with. This is where boundary setting becomes crucial. Have a candid conversation, saying something like, "I value our friendship, but I need to be honest. I feel pressured when you do this. I'd appreciate it if we could respect each other's choices more." If they truly care about you, they'll respect your boundaries. If not, it might be time to reevaluate that friendship. Scenario 3. The drama-obsessed family member. You have a relative who thrives on drama and negativity, constantly venting and dragging you into their conflicts. Instead of being pulled into the emotional whirlwind, practice radical acceptance and compassion without attachment. Politely let them know that you're not in the emotional space to handle more negativity, and suggest shifting the conversation to lighter topics. Conclusion. Dealing with toxic people is a skill that requires patience, self-control, and wisdom. By applying the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism, you can remain calm, collected, and resilient, even in the face of negativity. Remember, you control your response, not their behavior. Emotional detachment is key. Set boundaries without guilt. Practice compassion without attachment. See challenges as growth opportunities. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us about your experiences dealing with toxic people and how you manage to keep your peace. Stay wise, stay resilient, and always protect your inner tranquility. See you in the next video.